Okay guys, prepare for a hot take because I feel like I'm going against the grain this time. MaXXXine was not as bad as all of you were saying. I feel like I've been pranked. Guys, this is one of those rare times where I feel like I love a movie that everyone else is not vibing with. Guys, my name's Nova, this is Film Express, and today we're going to be talking about MaXXXine, the final installment in Ti West and Mia Goth's acclaimed horror trilogy. For the past month or so, everyone's been kind of telling me that MaXXXine was mid. You know, I've been avoiding any real reviews or any spoilers. I didn't want anybody to kind of influence my rating on it. I've had people actually reach out to me and tell me that I was going to hate this movie. When people tell me that, I feel like they know me, you know? So I was basically prepared for the worst. I'll be fully honest. All of you are a bunch of haters, you know what? The tables have turned because I really enjoyed this movie. I feel like it was a fantastic ending to the trilogy. This was the only way the trilogy could have ended. It was not only a sign off to the 80s decade in the horror genre, but it was also a sign off to all the work that Ti West and Mia Goth have accomplished so far as well. I feel like this was, in a way more meta than it is getting any credit for. I'm just surprised by all the mixed reception. I feel like this is an incredibly misunderstood film. Let's start by pointing out the obvious. You know, Ti West loves movies. He loves cinema. He loves the art form, the craft. He loves the medium. He loves the various techniques that can be employed and used within and how different creatives can use those techniques. He's mostly worked with very small budgets. He's shown that he's very precise with his vision, in my opinion, at least with this trilogy. X was a very solid film. Pearl was a masterpiece. We can all be real about Pearl. Pearl kind of set the standard in a very strong way. It made X so much better. The pressure was on for MaXXXine. You know what? It's also been delayed, and there's been a lot of drama behind the scenes. You know, Mia Goth kicked somebody in the head, but you know what? A lot of guys would kind of probably be into that. With all that being said, you know, there was a lot riding on this final installment. I'm kind of sad to see all these kind of mixed reviews and these mixed ratings. In my opinion, this is the work of an auteur with a clear vision. I feel like this was the perfect send-off because it shows a lot of love for the art form. But let's be real, you know, it's not a perfect film. It's not a film that I would rate super highly. There are definitely flaws, and most of those flaws lie within the screenplay. You know, Pearl was so good because Mia Goth helped the script. I really feel that, and I feel like she helped get into the character's head and helped make a lot of that dialogue seem believable, in contrast much better than MaXXXine, because one of the big problems with MaXXXine is how on the nose and kind of cringy the dialogue can be a lot of the time. I feel like that could go in two ways, because it could be an homage to the campy kind of cheesy 80s vibes that obviously a lot of those horror films had back in the day. Also, it could just be very bad writing and bad delivery in some scenes. I won't say it's a complete failure of a screenplay, but there are definitely a lot of moments, and a lot of people have complained about the script, so it's something worth noting. The third act also has a lot of pros and cons, because in a way, I do feel like this was like the only way they could have ended the film. It was as meta as it could be, and it was, in my honest opinion, a perfect thematic full circle window into this character and how this character ends up becoming the person that we see in X. So to me, it all made sense, and I don't want to spoil it too much. Even the setting where the whole third act takes place, to me, is the perfect setting. It makes a lot of sense within the story and the timeline and the character. But with that being said, there was a lot of Deus Ex Machina, there was a lot of plot armor, a lot of stupid character moments, but that also goes in hand with a lot of horror films, and I feel like it was a little bit rushed. Even in the execution, the blocking, the editing, it just felt very scattered and rushed in execution. I just really enjoyed what it meant overall for the story and for her character. Now, a lot of you might remember when Pearl came out, Martin Scorcese was a big fan of Pearl and Mia Goth's performance, and he ended up championing for that film and kind of presenting that film, doing an interview with Ti West. He was enamored with that film because he saw the work of an auteur as a tip of the hat to Scorsese and all the work that Scorsese did to praise Ti West and Pearl. I would say Ti West sprinkled a lot of love for Scorsese into MaXXXine, especially in the end. There was some clear homages and nods to Scorsese. The film opens with a Steadicam tracking shot, which is very reminiscent of Goodfellas. The whole finale reminded me of the same execution as Taxi Driver. You know, I don't want to get into spoilers, but if you know, you know. And it's that same kind of approach, I would say. It's very surrealistic. It also leaves things open to interpretation. There was a scene where Mia Goth is looking in the mirror that reminded me exactly of Raging Bull, and I feel like that was such a clear homage too. In fact, the film is sprinkled with so many homages to Hitchcock, homages to John Carpenter, homages to Scorsese. Like I said, I feel like overall the film is drenched with so many cinematic references and Easter eggs that I feel like any movie lover will have such a joy picking them all out from various frames in the film. You know, I think that that's going to be one of the main reasons why this film ages so well. In my opinion, you know, this is a really solid film. I really dug it. I had a great time. It was a perfect, very fitting end to the trilogy, and I really truly feel like it's a misunderstood film. I feel like people had higher expectations, which is completely fair. The pressure was on when you have such fantastic films like X and Pearl that we were blessed with so close back to back as well. Now, there are rumors that there might be a fourth one coming. I don't know if that's true. I'm not opposed to it. You know, I feel like if they're going to keep referencing and giving love to different decades and different filmmakers in the horror genre, by all means, you know what, Ty West, do your thing. Mia Goth, do your thing. Let them cook, you know what, because I really feel like they are crushing it. So Ty West, I'm extremely excited to see what he does next. I'll be fully on board. And Mia Goth, she's a star. The whole cast in this film was spectacular. It's a film that by all means should not exist. I feel like it's the first time in history where we've gotten an anthology trilogy with the same director and the same actress so close, you know, within the span of 2 years. This is legendary. In my opinion, it's the greatest horror trilogy of all time. Some people might say Evil Dead or The Omen or maybe even The Exorcist, but in my opinion, there has not been a trilogy in the history of the horror genre that has been as consistently good as X, Pearl, and MaXXXine. Guys, my name's Nova. This is Film Express. Please like, please subscribe, please hit that notification bell as well. Please drop some comments. Let me know what you thought. Am I completely wrong in loving this film? Because I feel like I'm all alone on this island. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you later.